Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday's close-up morning stream. These are still technically Brooks morning streams, but I thought I'd start in here since I just cleaned up and they were so active. And of course, by the time I'm ready to start the stream, three of them have settled down. But two of them are still going at it. Of course, it's Monkey and Dabble. Monkey and Dabble. Let's Dabble back there. Little Dabby. There we go. And big old Monkey. They're the two biggest in the litter, and I think obviously they've also been the most active. Sort of the most mature, they're the ones that are switched over the best to the adult food, and that's, I think, a big contributor to both their size and their activity. So that's good. I think the other two kids who are, I still have to use the cheat sheet a little bit, Trifle and Putter. I think Trifle and Putter are still a little more stuck on Mom, which is somewhat to their detriment. That's why they're a little smaller and a little less active. But it's nothing to worry about. There's some slow progress in every class. There's almost always one that holds out longer than the others, trying to nurse off of Mom and not eat the solid food. And Trifle is definitely that in this class. So we're going to keep working on getting Trifle switched over. And I think that he is just fine until then. You can see we've got a wide variety of food for them for that reason. We've got the fancy feast that we're supposed to be feeding them according to our vet, bowl of water. And then we have RC Mom and Baby Cat. We have the RC Mom and Baby Cat wet and dry. And I brought the wet up specifically to try to get Trifle to switch over. I think Trifle liked it a little bit, but not. He didn't go for it enough yet. So we got to keep working on him. Which we will. We'll get him over eventually. I'm sure if you guys have been watching Kitten Academy for a while, you have seen us go through all of this exact same thing many, many times. So, obviously, we worry about the kittens. That's what we do. It's a big part of our job is just worrying about the kittens. So it wouldn't be fair to say I'm not worried about him. That's literally just what I do. But I don't think there's any reason to have to be worried about him. He is, I think, doing just fine right now. Also, on that topic, I should point out we have a vet appointment scheduled now for tomorrow. So all of them are going to the vet tomorrow morning at 10:30. That may interfere with our regular close-up. We may have to put it later in the day. But I'll find a way to still make sure it gets done regardless. So I just want you to know that. Here's Putter. He's a little hairy putter. That's a joke that I'm going to probably get a lot of mileage out of while he's here at the academy. Tiny hairy putter. All right, there's Putter. This is our Trifle. Trifle's the one that is definitely, we've basically only seen him nurse on Mom willingly. And I've got to get him to eat more food. I've forced him to eat a little bit of food, and he does, but then he just doesn't eat much more on his own after I'm done forcing him. So I'm going to keep an eye on his weight, and if it's not going up the way that I want, then I'm just going to have to force him more and more until he's got the calories he needs. And then just like in the past with kittens, even if we have to syringe feed them, they eventually, some of them very late, but they eventually switch off to the regular food, and I'm sure he will too. Just going to take his time. There we go. And then, of course, our mom cat here is Tinker. Hi, Tinker. And, I should let you guys know, we heard a couple of other things from the rescue in Georgia that sent them up to us. Obviously, if you guys haven't already heard, the first thing that we heard from them is that Tinker is Belle's daughter. So Tinker is Belle's daughter, not Belle's mom like we had originally said. So these are Belle's grandkids here. The other thing that we heard is that the grandkids were born on December 12th. They were born on December 12th. That makes them about 7 weeks old, I think, if I'm doing the math right, almost. And then we also heard that they had checked them out, and they don't think that the patches on Tinker are ringworm. They just think that she was kind of worrying at herself a bit, like Taylor had. I think that was Taylor that also had done that. And that'll probably clear up real fast now that she's in a comfortable place. So that's our expectation. She's going to come out and show us all how pretty she is. That's good. And I think she's starting to clean herself up a bit and maybe hopefully starting to put on a little bit of weight too. Yeah, because you were pretty skinny. Even though you got a big belly, I want to see you get nice and fat. You're a little too slender. So, and then obviously we have Monkey back there, our little orange and white kitty that it just never stops. Well, that's not true. He does stop and hang out with the family, but when he goes, he goes. He is just going. And he just put that toy under the door. I had just pulled it out from under the door before I started the stream, and he put it back. And then right behind him, there's Dabble, the girl. And he's just nonstop. DJ really did right naming him Monkey. What was I going to say? Oh, that the boys all have approved adopters, but Dabble and Mom Tinker do not yet have anybody that has applied for them. So first off, I would say definitely get your applications in if you're interested in Dabble or in our mom, Tinker. They both seem very sweet so far. Or also get your application in if you are interested in one of the boys. We've had applicants fall through before in the past for all kinds of reasons, you know. Sometimes it happens because they change their mind or they just can't, wait and they go and adopt some other kitten or, any kind of thing. Sometimes it happens for other reasons. They have something happen in their life and all of a sudden they realize, oh, now's not the time for me to get a kitten, and they drop out. We even had Baba Ganoush, who famously was returned and now is still one of the more, I think, popular kittens that's ever been through the academy. And he came back because the person that adopted him had a horrible allergic reaction and ended up in the emergency room, of all things. My point being, even when I tell you that a kitten has an approved adopter, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't also apply, get your name on the list, and that way, if it falls through, it was meant to be. Like Baba Ganoush, we're all, in the end, we're all so glad that Baba Ganoush put his first adopter in the hospital, which is a terrible thing to say. I only said it that way because it sounds so funny. We're obviously not glad that they had to go into the hospital, but we feel like Baba Ganoush really ended up in a great house, and we're so happy about that. And that's happened every time. Every time an adopter has fallen through, it seems in the end like it was meant to be, and could always happen again. So my whole point is apply if you are the least bit interested in having one of these kittens or any future kitten. You can also apply in advance and get pre-approved. That's how the boys got adopted so quickly. They were people that were pre-approved from having put in their application in the past. Finally, the last time I'll say this on this morning stream, we're going to go see Brooke in just a minute, and someone needs to apply to adopt her too. Although I understand if you're just waiting to find out what we end up thinking about her blood sugar stuff, which we're still working on figuring out. I get it. Of course, you could have still apply and say you don't want to pick her up, or you could say, whatever. Whatever. I don't have a point. I think I've done enough trying to give you guys the hard sell on these kittens. I know DJ would be giving me the Ivy look if she heard me doing so much hard sell, because that's not what we're about. What we're really all about is how wonderful you guys are for watching and spreading the word and just helping expose us to people who may want to adopt. So there you go. Anyway, I can't tell you a whole lot about these kittens' personalities yet that you guys haven't already seen for yourself by watching the regular Kitten Academy live stream. But we are starting to get a feel for who they are. I just missed him doing a little dance on the rug. So cute. This rug has got to go, by the way. It's a weird, like a knit kind of a style instead of like the typical rug that you would normally have in the kitten room. It's different than any rug we've had before. And it basically just is like a poo sponge. It just soaks it right in the worst way, and it's basically impossible to get completely clean. So you're not going to see a whole lot more of this rug after we're done in this room. We've got a different rug ready when we move them into the main room downstairs. And then I think this rug is destined for a non-kitten area of the house. Yeah, I don't know what you call it. Maybe I can show you. See how it's not like a rug like you would expect. It's more like almost like a blanket or something. So yes, as far as getting the floor ready to move them downstairs, I got it all done yesterday except for putting on the polyurethane, which is my big project for this morning. Just get that down on the floor, and then a couple days it'll be dry enough and not smelly enough that we'll be able to move them in. I want to say in advance, and maybe I'll get a chance to show you this. The stain yesterday, I don't know why it didn't. For some reason, the wood picked up sort of a reddish tinge in the places that I stained, and it's a bad match. And in the end, I think the lesson that I've learned is if next time I do this, and there will be a next time, we've got hardwood floors all around the house, and I'm going to have to refinish them on a regular basis. Plus, none of them were in perfect shape when we moved in. So the real lesson that I've learned is rent the drum sander, do it right. Next time I definitely will rent the drum sander, sand the whole floor, and just start it from scratch. That way I don't have to worry about little patches that don't match, and I don't have to worry about, I think I spent longer trying to sand down just the spots that I wanted sanded and stain just the spots I wanted stained than I would have if I'd just done it all in mass, you know. So that's my lesson. That's what I've learned. Do it right. And there's a reason why it's the right way. But this time, I'm already too far down the road, and I'm just going to take it as it is. I'm going to put the polyurethane down, and we're going to move on. So, hi. I don't want you to be so hand shy. You guys are all still just a little bit hand shy, which means I need to bother you more. That's the solution to being hand shy. If you get bothered. You get bothered. If you're running away from me and not running to me, then I'm going to bother you until you want to run to me. That's the way it works. This is Dabble. She's so pretty. I love the face stripe right down the middle there. Well, I know, but look how pretty you are. Okay. Anyway, I got to spend a lot of time bothering these kids too, because I think they are just a little bit hand shy in general, and we could do a lot to get them to come around, as we do with most classes. That's also a big part of what we do. Bothering kittens and worrying, that's basically my job description. Person who worries and bothers kittens. You don't seem quite so bothered. A little bothered though. He almost fell asleep in my lap yesterday. He would have been the first one to do it. But just as he was starting to fall asleep, I thought it was so cute. I tried to get my phone out of my pocket, and that woke him up, and he's like, all right, after all, I got to leave. So, oh well. All right, hey, we're at 14 minutes, and we've been all kittens, so I want to take you guys around and show you the other important cats here, Belle and Brooke, as well as maybe some of the faculty. So we're going to go, but if you want to keep watching these kittens right here in this room, this camera and that camera are on the regular Kitten Academy live stream 24 hours a day. So you can flip over there right now. I won't even be offended. Or you can flip over there after I'm done with this close-up in about 5-10 minutes. Either way. But for now, let's move on. Let's see who else we can see. Hang on, I got my coffee cup. I got my camera. A lot to try to juggle. So the first thing we can do is open Brooke's door, because she's allowed to come out most of the day long. She was out almost all day yesterday, and she did very well. I know, I hear you. I just put her back in there so she would eat her breakfast, and I think she did. Well, she ate most of it. I saw. You saw it. There was still some in there, but it wasn't. She ate quite a bit. Hey, sweetie pie. Hi. Hi. She has been hanging out with us. She's like a little puppy. She doesn't necessarily want to sit like on my lap, or snuggled up, but she wants to be in the same room I am all the time. Last night I was trying to, take care of some laundry and stuff, and I was going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between my office and the master bedroom. And every time I would get up and walk from one to the other, there she would be, just like a couple seconds behind, following me, making sure. And then she'd settle down in the other room, and then I'd get up, and she'd get up, and we'd both walk down to the other room. So she really likes being around her people. Little Brookie, she's a sweetheart. Brookie, I'm going to leave you out here. We're going to go see Belle, okay? We'll come back out and see you in just a minute. Those are I just cleaned parts of that rug before we started the thing. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of hand sanding. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Let's go in and see Belle. I can tell you a couple things about Belle. First off, I decided to make the call. We put the curtain down on Belle's box, and I even turned the light off so it would be a little more attractive to her. I want her to feel like when she needs a place to hide, that's the place to go, and I haven't seen her in there lately. She's been trying to get behind the beanbag chair. So I'm hoping that this encourages her to use this spot instead of the beanbag chair as her spot. Also, I know you guys all know that DJ has been insisting I get a better box for her, a slightly larger box, and that better box is arriving on Wednesday. At first, I thought for sure she was going to deliver her kittens before the new box got here, but now I'd say the box is more likely to come first, although it is definitely anyone's guess right now. She's a sweetheart. She purrs and snuggles up. I do think that she's getting closer. Well, I mean, that's dumb to say. Obviously, she's getting closer every single day, right? That's just the way it works. But I think you can tell a little bit. I've seen her acting just a touch more restless, and a little more agitated here and there too. Last night she got very unexpectedly agitated with me. I think it was probably pregnancy hormones and just general discomfort. So I trimmed her nails last night. That was after she was agitated. I trimmed her nails just in case she decides to be all angry, and that way she won't do quite so much damage if she does. But generally she's super sweet. I'm sure it was just all those little kittens inside her that are bothering her, and she can't take it out on them, can she? So yes, this is Belle, and Belle is the mom of Tinker that we just saw in the other room with her kittens. So she's the grandmother to those kittens. I know it would be really fun to bring them all together, but like I was just saying, Belle seems a little bit extra stressed these last couple days, and I want to make sure that we don't push her to be too stressed. There's no reason to introduce them when it would just cause her some extra stress. So I'll tell you also, her babies, like I can't, every time I touch her, I can feel the baby. There's one right here, like you just touch her and you can feel their little heads in there. So they are getting big, very big kittens. And also very often I feel them wiggling around and kicking. We're getting more of that. So we must be getting close. It's hard to guess exactly when she's going to go. Anyway, if you're watching the regular Kitten Academy live stream, you're going to notice that what we see of her is mostly the big old top-down ceiling camera view. And I know it's not the best view, but it's the only other camera we have in here besides the one that's in the box. And no, Sherry, I'm probably not going to bring her in for another X-ray. We've already done that a couple times. We don't need to stress her out again anymore. So should be all right there. Um, Speaking of the ceiling camera, I know the ceiling camera in here sometimes it flashes, like it gives you kind of a strobe effect on the stream, and I apologize for that. I'm just holding out, trying different things to get it to stop doing that without replacing it, but I've basically given up, and I just have to remember to come in here with a new camera and replace it, which I will do. In the meantime, please bear with us. I'm doing the best I can. All right. Belle, you are being a total sweetie lover this morning. Yes, you are. You don't seem stressed at all right now. You don't, though. You seem very happy. There we go. Hi. Hi, Andrea. True. I saw you ask how many cameras we have. I don't know how you count. Like, do you count the ones that I've got in reserve that aren't even hooked up to anything? Do you count just the Kitten Academy cameras, or do you count the ones that are the house security cameras? Uh, I don't know, but however you count, I would say the number is easily over 20. In fact, it's certainly over 20. We've got over 20 that are active. That's all. I don't need to be too specific, right? This is Eddie, by the way. If you think it's Brooke, it's I know it's hard to tell them apart at a glance, but that's definitely Ed. And Brooke is now following me just like she does everywhere she can. Especially if she sees me come in here. She likes this office quite a bit. Eddie and Brooke together. They're usually quite good together, which is kind of a surprise because Eddie can be so shy. But these two tend to get along. Let's see if I can get over on the sun side. A little better. A little bit better lighting, maybe. So Eddie, our boy, on this side, and Brooke over there on that side. All right. Well, hey, look, we've gone on long enough. Just let me say, as always, if you want to keep watching the kittens and Belle, keep an eye on her and see when she's ready to deliver. Just tune into the regular Kitten Academy live stream right here on YouTube. If you look for that, you will find it, and that is what it is. Let me show you the kitten room progress so far. So you probably can't even tell. Well, maybe you can if you look real close, but under that outlet next to the door, back there, that outlet, underneath that, right about where my finger was pointing there, that's the major spot that I had to stain, and it matches pretty well, especially once we get polyurethane on there, it'll probably match even better. But if you look close, you probably see it's got a slight red tinge there that I think shows up even better in person. And that was the real mistake. Other than that, it looks good. Just the color's just not exactly right, and I'm past the point of caring, basically. I don't care. I just want to get it done and get the kittens in there. So here's our acro. There's Brooke. Like I said, she's just going to follow me around. Whatever part of the house I'm in, she wants to be nearby. So that's the way she is. Go to the sunroom today. Yeah, you said it. I know. I know. She's like, why don't you settle down so I can take a nap somewhere instead of following you? We'll get there. Don't worry. All right, let's just take a look real quick in the living room and see if there's any other faculty, and then we'll wrap this up. Let me say thank you in advance. Thank you to all of you. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for chatting. I really appreciate all of it, and especially thank you for getting the word out about our cats that need to be adopted. That's why we do this. We do the YouTube specifically to get them adopted, and it's your help in that process that really is what makes everything we do possible. So here's Smokey, there's Ari, there's Brooke hanging out with the faculty like it was no big deal. She was even pretty close to Maggie last night without starting any trouble, so they might be starting to get along a little better. although I'm not 100% on that. And I saw Loganberry too. He's behind that tree. He's right behind Brooke. You see him? He likes to sit here because he can keep an eye on the birds, and if there's too many birds, he can run out in the cat run and yell at them. Just something he likes to do. Loganberry, there's Brooke. You can see Maggie in the back on the chair there. There's Smokey and Ari. Okay. Oh, and there's Custard. I almost didn't see him. He's hiding back here on top of this crate. Hi, Custard. You want to say goodbye to everybody? Tell them the stream's over? Okay, stream's over, folks. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning.